moving is still something that factors in. And I want to focus in on the America's Medicare Associates part of it. Scott, with you, being here, obviously, if somebody does move, they move states or what have you, is their Medicare plan going to stay the same? Is that something that can be changed if they move?
Chris, yeah, I feel for you because that had to be kind of a crazy childhood, crazy life growing up, moving like you did, but there are so many people that actually go through that. So,
Hmm.
that's a great question. I'm gonna actually address two things that you mentioned right there because there are two separate things that you mentioned. But one of the things that we do, and I love doing events. I love educational events, and we do a lot of educational events. And in my presentation, I go through the key enrollment periods, right? And on previous shows, we've talked about the annual enrollment period, which is my crazy, crazy time of the year. Annual enrollment starts October 15th, runs through December 7th. Then you have the open enrollment, which is January 1st through March 31st. And then we come across the IEP, which is when you turn 65. That's your initial enrollment. But the one that you're referring to is actually what's called the special enrollment period, right? So the special enrollment period, by the way, if you miss any of those periods, especially the initial when you turn 65, you could be subjecting yourself to a penalty. We don't like penalties, so we do our best to make sure that we avoid them at all cost. But if you do move, if you're 65 and older and you move, and one of the things I talk about in my events, if you move from beautiful, sunny Northwest Ohio to the doom and gloom of Southern Florida, right? And that always gets a laugh in the crowd. But if you move to a new servicing area, absolutely, you can change your plan. That would trigger the special enrollment period. You get to do that if you move out of the service area. There's no penalties involved at all in that. Another reason why you would actually utilize the special enrollment period would be if you are working past 65 years old, and let's say that you retire later, like maybe 68, 70 years old, you decide to finally retire. You did not sign up for Medicare when you were first eligible. That would also trigger the special enrollment period. So the special enrollment period allows you to make changes when you move out of state or out of a servicing area. If you happen to be on a prescription drug plan, a Medicare supplemental plan, or an Advantage plan, you can move freely, instituting that special enrollment period. Now, Chris, the other thing that you mentioned is growing up in a military with a dad in the military.
Hmm.
The veterans have another option that a lot of other people don't have. Not a lot of nobody else does. Is if you're a veteran, you have the ability to change your plan one time, anytime throughout the year. Okay, most people have to change their plan during the annual enrollment, and then they get one free do-over in the open enrollment. But if you're a veteran, you're over 65 years old, and you want to change your plan, you can do so one time during that calendar year and not suffer any penalties and have the option to switch a plan that might be better suited for you. It might give you some better benefits that coordinate with the Veterans Affairs. A lot of people that are veterans go through the VA for a lot of their services, their prescriptions, and things like that. So, there are flexibilities built into the Medicare programs to allow you to change. One thing I'll also mention, if you retire prior to 65, you're on the ACA plans and you move out of a service area, you can also make a change to those plans as well. All of those plans are actually what they call HMOs, so they are hospital driven and doctor driven. So if you move out of a service area, you can make a change to the plan as well. So there are several options available. And if anybody wants to know anything about any of those plans, any of the options, that's what we're here for at America's Medicare Associates, and we'd be happy to reach out and help you.
You can reach out to them, give a call, 419-794-3030. You can also go to the website, arhq.com. A lot of educational events, as Scott pointed out there, on the website that they teach, throughout the region all year long. To find one that is convenient to you, just go to the events tab, and that is at arhq.com.